Now, at Easter, when Jesus came back from the dead, he appeared to the disciples, and for the next 40 days he kept on just sort of dropping in, appearing to them every now and then, and he would explain what was happening and what had happened, and he'd explain a little bit more. Now, they shouldn't have needed the explanation. If they'd been really paying attention when Jesus was there with them before he was killed, then they wouldn't have needed so much explanation. But, you know, we don't always pay attention. After Jesus came back from being dead, then they really paid attention, really listened to him. And for 40 days, he taught them. But at the end of the 40 days, he told them that he had to go away for good. Now, they weren't happy about that. No, Jesus, stay with us longer. But he told them that if he didn't go away, then he wouldn't be able to send a special helper to be with them all of the time. They had to get used to the idea. They had to accept that he was going to go. So, 40 days after Easter, Jesus went out with them onto a hill, and there he went up into heaven and disappeared from their sight. Before he went, he told them they had to go back to Jerusalem and wait for the special helper to arrive. So they went, and they were all there in the room, 12 of them. Simon, who Jesus called Peter, and his brother Andrew, James and his brother John, Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas and Matthew, James the son of Alphaeus and Thaddeus, Simon the Patriot, and Matthias, the one who'd been chosen to replace Judas. They were all there, and they were waiting, and they were waiting, and they were waiting, and they waited for 10 whole days. And on that special day of Pentecost, which was a special day for the Jews, it was the day they celebrated the barley harvest. But on that special day of Pentecost, well, they heard a noise like a tremendously big wind blowing through the building. And they saw flames like fire coming down from the ceiling, resting on their heads. They weren't burned, but they saw the flames. And the Holy Spirit, God's special helper, came to them. Now they were hiding in the upper room because they were afraid. And you'd think if you heard a big sound like a big wind and you saw flames come down on your head, you'd think you'd be even more afraid. But no, they stopped being afraid. And Peter led them out, and they went out from the upper room, and they went out to the main place in Jerusalem. And there were a lot of people there, hundreds and hundreds, because a lot of people had come for the Passover, which was just before Easter, and they'd stayed there. And they'd come from all over the known world, lots and lots of different places. And Peter stood up and he spoke to them. And he said, "People, I've come to tell you something. And you know what? all these people, they spoke different languages, and all of them heard Peter speak in their own language. And some people thought that Peter must be drunk because he was standing there talking to them. But he said, no, I'm not drunk. It's only 10 o'clock in the morning in any case. So Peter talked to this big crowd. And because the Holy Spirit was with him, the Holy Spirit that Jesus had sent, he was able to find the right words to say, to explain to the crowd all about Jesus, and to explain that Jesus really was the special one sent by God. And you know what? That day, 3,000 people came to believe in Jesus and accept him. And they were baptized and became Jesus' followers, just like the 12 disciples were.